In a small town in Japan, there was a girl named Aiko. She was about to start her first day of high school, and she was very excited. Aiko had long, black hair and bright eyes. She loved to read books and dreamed of making many friends. However, Aiko had a secret that nobody knew. She found it very hard to talk to people, even though she was friendly. She was very shy and often felt nervous when she had to speak. On the first day of school, Aiko was determined to try her best. She wanted to be like everyone else and fit in. She walked into the classroom and looked around. All the seats were taken except for one. It was next to a boy named Haru. Haru was an ordinary boy who just wanted to blend in and avoid trouble. He didn't want to stand out, so he had chosen a seat in the middle of the classroom. Aiko quietly took the seat next to Haru. As she sat down, she noticed that many of her classmates were staring at her. Aiko's beauty and grace caught everyone's attention, but she didn't realize it. Haru noticed the other students whispering and looking at Aiko. He felt bad for her because he knew she was shy. During the first class, the teacher asked everyone to introduce themselves. When it was Aiko's turn, she stood up, but no words came out of her mouth. She tried to speak, but her voice was stuck. Her face turned red, and she quickly sat back down. The classroom was silent for a moment, and then the teacher moved on to the next student. Haru saw how embarrassed Aiko was. He wanted to help her, but he didn't know how. After class, everyone left the room for lunch. Aiko stayed behind, feeling sad and frustrated. Haru noticed she was alone and decided to stay too. He walked over to Aiko and picked up a piece of chalk from the blackboard. He wrote, "Hi, my name is Haru. What's your name?" and handed the chalk to Aiko. She looked surprised but took the chalk and wrote, "I'm Aiko." Haru smiled and wrote, "Nice to meet you, Aiko. Do you like reading books?" Aiko's eyes lit up, and she nodded. She wrote back, "Yes, I love books. Do you?" The two of them continued to write back and forth on the blackboard. Aiko felt more comfortable communicating this way. Haru learned that Aiko wanted to make friends but found it hard to talk because of her shyness. He decided that he would help her. Haru asked Aiko, "Do you have any goals for high school?" Aiko thought for a moment and wrote, "I want to make 100 friends." Haru was impressed by Aiko's goal. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he wanted to support her. He wrote, "I'll help you. Let's start by making one friend at a time." Aiko smiled and nodded. She was grateful to have Haru's help. From that day on, Haru and Aiko became good friends. They spent their lunch breaks together, talking and writing messages on the blackboard. Haru introduced Aiko to some of his friends, and slowly, Aiko began to feel more comfortable around others. One day, Haru had an idea. He suggested to Aiko that they start a book club. This way, they could meet new people who also loved to read. Aiko liked the idea and agreed. They put up posters around the school, inviting students to join their book club. To their surprise, many students showed interest. The first meeting of the book club was a success. Aiko was nervous at first, but with Haru by her side, she felt confident. She realized that many students shared her love for books, and she started to make new friends. As weeks passed, Aiko became more outgoing. She still used the blackboard to communicate sometimes, but she also started to speak more. Her classmates admired her for her courage and kindness. Haru was proud of Aiko and happy to see her making progress. By the end of the school year, Aiko had made many new friends. She didn't reach her goal of 100 friends yet, but she was well on her way. More importantly, she felt happy and accepted for who she was. One day, as Aiko and Haru were walking home from school, Aiko turned to Haru and said, "Thank you for being my first friend. You helped me so much." Haru smiled and replied, "I'm happy to be your friend. Aiko, you have a big heart, and I know you'll reach your goal someday." Aiko felt a warm feeling inside. She knew that with Haru's support and her own determination, she could do anything. She was no longer the shy girl who found it hard to speak. She was Aiko, a girl with dreams and a heart full of courage. And so, Aiko's journey continued. With new friends, new experiences, and a bright future ahead, she learned that true friendship could overcome any challenge and that with kindness and support, anything was possible.